Welcome, everyone. Today, we're entering one of the most exciting areas of industrial microbiology, how we actually discover the microorganisms that produce antibiotics, enzymes, vitamins, and other valuable compounds. This is where microbiology becomes applied science. We are not just studying bacteria, we are searching for industrial champions. And that journey begins in nature and ends in large-scale production tanks. By the end of this lecture, you won't just memorize techniques. You'll understand the logic behind screening. You'll learn where production strains come from, how we filter thousands of isolates down to just a few powerful candidates, and how we evaluate them scientifically. Think of this lecture as learning how to think like an industrial microbiologist. Let's go back in time. In 1928, Fleming noticed a clear zone around a mold colony. That simple observation changed global medicine. Then came Waxman, who systematically screened soil microbes and discovered streptomycin. Between the 1940s and 1960s, most major antibiotics were discovered. The key message? Careful screening, even with simple tools, can lead to revolutionary breakthroughs. Screening has evolved dramatically. We moved from accidental discoveries to systematic soil screening. Then came rational design and genomics. Today, we integrate classical microbiology with genome mining, metagenomics, AI, and synthetic biology. But here's something important. Phenotypic screening still matters. You must see what the organism actually produces. This slide shows the screening pyramid. We start with thousands of environmental samples. After isolation and enrichment, we reduce them to hundreds. Primary screening further reduces them to dozens. Secondary screening narrows it down to a few promising strains. Finally, only 1 to 3 strains are selected for industrial development. Screening is like filtering gold from sand, step by step. Here's something fascinating. Scientists estimate trillions of microbial species on Earth. Yet we've described only a tiny fraction. Even fewer are used in industry. And here's the challenge. Most microbes we see under a microscope cannot be grown in the lab. This is called the cultivation gap. That's why we now combine classical culture methods with metagenomics. Soil remains the most important classical source of antibiotics. Why? Because soil is a battlefield. Microbes compete intensely for nutrients and space. To survive, they produce antimicrobial compounds. More than 70% of known antibiotics come from soil actinomycetes, especially streptomyces. So yes, soil is still a gold mine. But we don't stop at soil. Marine environments cover most of the Earth. Marine microbes produce unique compounds due to pressure and salinity. Extremophiles from hot springs produce thermostable enzymes. Symbiotic microbes from plants and insects may produce novel metabolites. The more unusual the environment, the higher the chance of novelty. Now, let's talk about visual detection systems. Indicator dyes make screening faster and more visible. pH indicators change color when acids are produced. Redox indicators show metabolic activity. Chromogenic substrates reveal specific enzymes. These simple color changes allow us to screen hundreds of isolates efficiently. Enrichment is a powerful strategy. Instead of screening randomly, we create selective conditions. For example, if we want cellulose degraders, we give cellulose as the only carbon source. After repeated transfers, target organisms dominate. Enrichment increases our success rate dramatically. We can apply heat to select spore formers. High salt selects halophiles. Antibiotics remove unwanted microbes. Modern tools like iChip allow microbes to grow in natural environments while being isolated. These innovations expand our discovery potential. Now think strategically. If we want to discover a new drug, we focus on novelty and eliminate known compounds early. If we want better production of a known compound, we focus on yield and optimization. So your screening design must match your objective. This is one of the most famous screening techniques, the crowded plate. Multiple isolates grow on a single plate. If a colony produces antibiotic, you see a clear zone around it. Simple, visual, powerful. This method helped launch the golden age of antibiotics. Today, we refine it. We add indicator overlays. We measure zones digitally. We identify isolates using 16S rRNA sequencing. Classical method, modern precision. Auxanography studies nutritional requirements. If growth appears near a nutrient disk, the organism can utilize that nutrient. This method is useful for amino acid production screening. It was developed in 1889, and it still works. In Agar diffusion methods, compounds diffuse through Agar and inhibit growth. Different versions exist: disk diffusion, well diffusion, cup plate method. Standardization is critical for reproducibility. The Agar block method improves precision. We can estimate potency using standard curves. This method bridges primary and secondary screening. In the ditch plate method, extract is placed in a central channel. Different test organisms are streaked across the plate. This quickly shows antimicrobial spectrum. Here we test microbial interactions. If one organism inhibits another, you'll see inhibition at the intersection, useful for detecting bacteriocins and antagonistic strains. Enzyme screening relies on substrate-specific methods, transforming substrates to clear zones or precipitate formation. Different media detect different enzymes. Starch agar for amylase, milk agar for protease, CMC agar for cellulase. Clear zones mean enzyme production. Specific assays detect siderophores, biosurfactants, ammonia, or hydrogen cyanide. These metabolites are important in agriculture, medicine, and environmental applications. Minimum inhibitory concentration. The lowest concentration preventing visible growth. This provides quantitative potency data, essential in secondary screening. Bioautography combines chromatography with biological testing. After TLC separation, we overlay bacteria. Clear zones indicate active compounds. This helps identify which compound is responsible. Secondary screening is a critical step in the screening process, ensuring reproducibility and accuracy. It refines the selection from primary screening hits to leads, focusing on qualitative and quantitative analysis. This transition is vital for identifying production strains and optimizing resource allocation. Production parameters are key to successful secondary screening. Yield, productivity, and specific productivity are crucial metrics, alongside cultivation characteristics like genetic stability and oxygen requirements. These factors influence fermentation behavior and overall screening efficiency. Product quality assessment involves analyzing purity, composition, and safety. Stability characteristics and physical properties are also considered, ensuring the target compound meets necessary standards. This comprehensive evaluation is essential for effective screening and product development. Biological activity is assessed through potency, spectrum, and mechanism of action. In vivo activity and mode of action, studies provide insights into efficacy and safety. Selectivity and resistance development are crucial for understanding the compound's potential in therapeutic applications. Practical considerations encompass processing, purification, and economic factors. Regulatory and environmental impacts are also evaluated, ensuring sustainable and efficient screening processes. These considerations are vital for aligning screening with industry standards and environmental responsibility. Advanced criteria include genetic engineering and biosynthetic considerations, alongside operational and decision matrix evaluations. These factors address complex challenges in screening, ensuring comprehensive analysis and optimal candidate selection for further development. Troubleshooting primary screening involves addressing false positives and negatives alongside overgrowth problems. Solutions are provided for common issues, ensuring accurate and reliable screening results. Variable results are analyzed to refine screening processes and improve outcomes. Secondary screening challenges include activity loss, toxicity, and genetic instability. Solutions are offered for each issue, enhancing screening reliability and effectiveness. General troubleshooting tips provide guidance for overcoming common obstacles in secondary screening. The methods matrix offers a comparative summary of screening techniques, highlighting throughput, information, and cost. Strategic principles guide method selection, maximizing precision and efficiency in screening processes. This summary aids in choosing the best approach for specific applications. Integration of classical and modern approaches is essential for comprehensive screening. Phenotypic hits and novel compounds are identified, confirming the effectiveness of combined methods. This integration supports secondary screening, ensuring thorough analysis and discovery. Designing a screening protocol involves scenario analysis and strategic planning. Evaluation rubrics and suggested approaches guide the process, ensuring effective isolation, enrichment, and screening. This exercise prepares you for real-world applications in pharmaceutical development. Key takeaways: emphasize maximizing diversity and applying criteria systematically. Emerging trends like AI, ML integration, and sustainable bioprocesses are highlighted, alongside essential career skills. These insights prepare you for future challenges and opportunities in screening. Explore references and key literature to deepen your understanding of screening techniques. Seminal reviews and databases provide valuable resources for further study, supporting continuous learning and development in the field of microbiology. Engage with discussion questions to explore conceptual understanding and practical applications. Topics like soil streptomyces dominance and screening protocol design challenge you to think critically and apply knowledge effectively in real-world scenarios. Thank you for exploring the future of industrial microbiology, where classical methods integrate with modern technologies. Join us for the next lecture on strain improvement and scale-up strategies, continuing your journey in microbiological innovation.